템스강의 유람선을 탔습니다.
감대가 4,500원 또 비싼 것 같은데 3만원 넘는 이유가 뭐예요? 근데 여기는 우리랑 생각이 다른 게 감대 끼는 사람은 세금 많이 내고 당당하게 필요해. 실내에서는 어디에서 뛰어도 안 되고 그러다 보니까
seated whilst the boat is moving. You are free to move around, but please be very, very careful. Okay, folks. We do occasionally get rocked about.
이제 유람선
We don't want to
출발했습니다.
see anyone falling over. So just be very, very cautious when you make your way to the bar or the toilets. Now you've joined us at low tide, and there's not a lot of tide left now. The tide on the way down the river, we will meet the incoming tide, flood tide, and when the tide rises. In 5 hours, the tide rises 7 meters. So if you come back on the river in about 4 or 5 hours' time, you'll be almost 7 meters higher some of the bridges. Okay, so it is part of our discipline to become watermen, to obtain a license, is with a full safety announcement, some more information. Okay, it is up to you.
녹색 국기 영국광.
The monarch's entrance into the palace itself, and the famous clock tower. Everybody calls it Big Ben. Internationally noisy railway bridge. So many of the greats they have performed there. And on your left, you can see this monument at 3,500 years old. It's actually quite considerably older than London itself. Now it was gifted to the British, or at least that's the official line. Some say we just took it, but presented to the British by an Egyptian government to commemorate. On your left, you see the building with the green tiled roof, the singular flagpole. That is the Savoy Hotel. Now this is one of you get a complimentary breakfast. So it's the ladies' bridge, constructed by a female workforce during the Second World War. So the men folk at the time, they were the land army, the ladies. They stepped in and they made the only bridge ever to be finished on time. Deaths for England and Wales. It was the portholes and the glass roof. Now as you can all see, the existing railway bridge. So this is Blackfriars Railway Bridge, and on top of this bridge is Blackfriars Station. You can enter the station from either side of the river. Now it took 30 months alongside Lord Nelson, the Iron Duke, the Duke of Wellington, and Sir Alexander. Only one bridge, and that was London Bridge. So before the bridges, you'd walk down these steps, a waterman's ferry. You would pay your fare in a small silver bucket, and they would row you across the river or up and down the river to your desired destination. And that is a tradition that still continues in London even today. Watermen like myself and the captains we obtained dates back to 1514. It's a very historic licence and a very proud heritage we have on the river. So it's over 400 years, and the likes of William Shakespeare, Samuel Pepys, Charles Dickens, myself and the captain, just a few of the famous Englishmen to have drank in this pub. And that is a nice pub, folks. I think we have decided. I think we're going there tonight. You might find us in about 8 o'clock, completely naked. English captain to twice, and it is currently under 1,000 years. So the Romans, they built the first ever river crossing here, bridge, British naval ship. Anywhere else you see an identical flag on land, well, that is simply just a Union flag only, or traditionally a Union flag only. It's only a Union jack upon the jack mast, which is not common knowledge, but fact nonetheless. And the warship, the Belfast, has been permanently moored since the early 1970s. It's a C-35 Town class, 6th day, 1938. It's a floating museum, I almost forgot to mention. Thoroughly recommend going on there. Thoroughly recommend it again. In both Suspension Bridge and Bascule Bridge. So the Bascule part, the middle section, famously it opens like a double-sided drawbridge and this will allow large ships or tall-masted vessels in and out of the City of London. So looking at the bridge, in each of the bridge footings there is a giant counterweight mechanism, and that is what causes each of those bascules. They can be raised to up to a 90-degree position, 45
런던 브리지야.
seconds. Now Tower Bridge is 100 and older. It was built in keeping open
런던
as the ship
브리지입니다.
was here
가장
before
오래된
the
다리라고
bridges
합니다.
were. Right then folks, well, we're going to make our way alongside Tower Pier. Please remain seated if you can, just while we get you safely alongside. Okay, it's part of our procedure and it is in the interest of safety. Okay, now some travel information.
했다고 하네요.
This